Yeah, 100%.
tripped over it. Instant death.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Age. This is the show where we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Mick. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Josh,
What's up?
Jonah,
Hey, yo.
and Corey.
Yahoo.
Yahoo indeed. Welcome to the show, guys. If you like what you see here, just comment down below on what you think about what we're going to be talking about today, which, spoiler alert, it's Ahsoka and some other random stuff. Leave a like on the video, too, and share it with all your nerdy friends out there. With that being said, like I said, we're jumping into some Ahsoka episode 6, Far, Far Away. You know how it goes here. We're just going to do some spoilers. So you've been warned.
Best episode of the season.
You
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Second best.
Second best. I think last week's was better.
Me too.
Oh, I don't know.
There's so much in this episode
Yeah.
that I loved the last episode. I think it has probably my favorite shot out of any Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't here last week and I didn't talk about it, but I love the shot when, and I'm sure you guys did too, when it flashes from Anakin to Vader. Just that imagery was so cool. But yeah, I think this episode specifically just had more tying in nerdy lore stuff from specifically Rebels that I think really that pushed it to my favorite episode so far.
Yeah. So this one, I think the way they added lore and pushed the story forward, but I don't know. I can't stop thinking about the entrance of Thrawn.
Yeah.
And how that was done, how cool the stormtroopers look, how the music played. Like
Music was really
that
good.
gave me chills.
It was very Dune Hans Zimmer inspired.
It
It worked really well. It was so good.
it had like the
organ
organ that they did in Rebels, but it was added with more like the snare drums and the voice in the background going Thrawn, and like that. Everything was just, I don't know. To me, I loved the last episode, but this one was still. I was like, man, how does this keep getting better? Because I just felt like there was so much. And one of my two favorite scenes was the stuff with Balin. I thought his
stuff was good.
dialogue and kind of how they keep pushing this kind of intriguing ideas that he's like, there's something that's calling to me. And I'm like, what's calling to him? I think that's really cool how they're doing that. It just brings up all that cooler talk that you can talk about with people and be like, what is your theories? It's just perfect Star Wars. So yeah, this episode was great.
Yeah, he really continues to be the most compelling character in the show, I think. Like, he just has such a interesting background and obviously his own stuff that he's working towards. And it doesn't seem like he's really revealing all of his cards to the people he's working for. And Ray Stevenson is just...
Yeah.
He's not even telling...
He's awesome in the role.
He's not even telling her, the little Padawan or whatever. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, we talked about what's this power? You know, what is power that he was talking about earlier in the story? And we were mixed on it. We didn't really know. We were taking our guesses. Maybe it's a partnership with Thrawn. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's more than that. It's something here. So very intriguing. I think that there's a lot of opportunity to kind of grow the world and introduce new things.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best thing about this episode is it introduced some new plot lines that could be looked at and maybe investigated in some later stuff. So I'm excited to see what that kind of line takes us with Balin, because he is my favorite. But I am worried about, are they going to, will they recast him? Will he meet his end? Does his Padawan take over his will? I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have 2 more episodes, so plenty of time.
I think they recast.
I could see them doing that because it happened. It's just so sudden, and he's such a great character.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough for whoever picks it up, but the writing's really good. So it'll carry that character. The writing's just so good.
I think you could get.
I think so too.
I think you could get, like, I was just
think he
thinking
just
the
did
other
a tremendous
day.
job.
I was like,
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I think Michael Fassbender
Okay.
would be able to pull something off like
Michael
that.
Fassbender.
He has the more like
I was going to
subdued.
say like Ben Affleck.
Give him a beard. Give him the gray hair. I think he has that, his delivery, and he's very stoic. I think he could pull that off,
But
like
he
the
doesn't.
delivering stuff.
He doesn't. I saw someone say Liev Schreiber.
Oh,
and they do look
that's
a lot
that's
alike,
a good
and they
choice.
do have similar mannerisms.
And he was awesome as Sabretooth.
yeah, 100%.
I mean, that would work. I feel bad doing that because I mean it's sad the guy died, but I do think it goes to. I mean, it's a testament to how good he is.
Right.
That people are like, man, I love this character. This really sucks, and I want this character to keep going. That's a testament to the writing, but it's also a testament to how he plays the character because he does these little things.
sure.
He does these little things when he's talking to Shin, and she asks questions, and there's just little things where he's like the way he moves his mouth, the way he kind of pauses to answer the questions is just so well done and compelling that it's just like, man, he's become one of my favorite Star Wars characters, and he's been in 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, less than that, 5 episodes because he wasn't in the Ahsoka one. So to me, it's like that's just a testament to how good he is.
His subtlety and just his inflection and everything, what he's doing in the shows. There's something about it that just really, really captures you.
Yeah, I think that conversation. I think you said earlier, Jonah, you think that he was like trying to get into the world between worlds to maybe go back in time, which one of the things that he said of like, oh, I want to go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that I'm getting hung up on. I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, does he really think that there's time travel involved? Cause he says something about, if the rumors are true or, if the legends are true, if the stories are true, there's something there that he can use to go back and start over, and I do really like that whole concept of her asking him, like, do you miss the Jedi Order? And he's like, I miss the idea of it, but I don't miss the flaws. And so we keep seeing that idea of him being basically like remaking his own Jedi Order or what he thinks should be what the Jedi Order should be. Like even when she's like, he's talking about, the Boken Jedi trained in the wild. And she's like, just like me. He's like, no, you're more than that.
I trained you for more than that.
And just like the subtlety of that and just like the way he says those things, it really does make me really interested in them. I wish we could have a whole show just dedicated to them, how they met, all their backstory would be really cool. But I think one of the coolest parts of the show that I was not, they looked cool in the trailer, right? But they've definitely executed on making them interesting. And then Thrawn doesn't really care about them, so they're going to be kind of separate from.
And they don't really want to. It doesn't seem like they want to leave. I was going to wait to bring this up, but since we're talking about it, there's a theory going around that in Legends, Star Wars Legends, there's the character of Abeloth, which is connected to the father, son, and daughter. Apparently, she was known as the servant, and she would keep the daughter and the son like from fighting and stuff. She was like kind of keeping them at bay, and then she eventually, because they're eternal beings and she was going to die, she was afraid to lose them, so she bathed in the fountain. I can't remember what the fountain was named, and then drank, and she becomes corrupted and becomes Abeloth, which is this whole. And then the father, son, and daughter have kept her. They like keep her trapped on this planet, incarcerated, whatever. It's kind of this whole thing. So people are saying, what if they bring that in to this kind of whole dynamic? Because Dave Filoni has used them, the Mortis gods, and there's that play in Rebels. Would that be something? It's kind of like a eternal being it's been around for millennia, kind of whole thing. Would that be a crazy thing to bring in? That's like an extra villain that's beyond Thrawn. Does that make sense? If there's like this power that's on this planet or that they know about that has been around and imprisoned for millennia, how would you guys think that would be something he would do?
How powerful is this person or a thing?
Well, she's kind of like on par with the Mortis gods.
Okay,
so like she's one of them, a deity. Right. Oh. But it connects with the Mortis gods. It'd be interesting. There's a Star Wars Explained has done a video about it, and it's
cool.
He did that video back when when The Force Awakens came out, because people were saying that Snoke was that character. But it's coming up now again. So it's a really interesting video. It's like cool. 5 minutes, but I'll send you guys the link. It's kind of interesting kind of thing. But just with Dave Filoni messing with that kind of stuff, would that be something that you guys think he would go to, or is that, like we talked about, too inside baseball, too crazy?
I am worried about how mystical this is getting, because we already have what are they called?
Night Sisters.
Well, no,
mothers,
something mothers, yeah,
the three witches from Greek mythology,
the three
saints, basically
stepmothers.
But what is
the
it called?
Wicked Witch of the West?
Great mothers, the great mothers,
great mother, maybe, yeah, great mothers,
grandmothers, nanas they call them.
It's like they haven't really shown. I mean, they really haven't shown what they can do, and we all know, if you've played the video games, the Jedi Order stuff, you know what they can do. And so, I don't know. I do think it's a little bit too much, but I would be interested in maybe a greater threat down the line being just kind of teased or something like that. Some little something. He gets a hold of something or something that links to that. That would be cool. I'd be down for it. But I do think we only have 2 episodes, and so you have to have a fight with Thrawn or Balin or whatever internally, and Ahsoka has to come back. I was going to bring up, this was one of the things I didn't really like about the episode, is that Ahsoka wasn't really there at all. And so that's why, in my opinion, the other one was better. There's other reasons, but I would have loved to see her get there, but they kind of prepped the way for her, and so that's cool, building kind of tension. But yeah, Ahsoka has to have some conflict. Right? This is her show.
Is there going to be a season 2?
They're saying it's before the strike, it was in development, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know how the numbers are. You never know. Disney's losing a ton of money, so I do think the conflict, what's going to happen, it's going to be trying to keep Thrawn from getting back to the galaxy. Right. That's going to be the thing.
Yeah.
I think he is going to get back to the galaxy.
For sure.
And I still think Ahsoka's going to stay back. I think Ezra and Sabine will go back to the galaxy. But I think Ahsoka and Balin and maybe Shin might go with Ezra and Ahsoka. But I think Balin and Ahsoka are going to stay back in this galaxy, and we're going to get some more of that mystical side of things through them down the line, whether that's in Mando, for them to eventually show up again when Dave Filoni does his movie. I just think, I mean, that's just a hunch, but I'm like, there seems to be too much to tie up in 2 episodes, but I think what they're doing is they're setting stuff up for, Mando season 4 or any other stuff that they're going to connect.
Yeah. I think that the Abeloth stuff, I think, is interesting. Crystal was actually talking about it. She was like, she saw, I think, maybe a Reddit thread about it, not the Star Wars Explained video. But I think it might be a little too far to tie that in, like kind of what we talked about before with Mortis Gods, of like, might be a bridge too far to get people. But it would be interesting, because I feel like even in the is it in the Rise of Skywalker novelization or in the books, in some of the canon books, the Emperor talks about something calling to him from the unknown regions. Yeah, the unknown regions. Yeah. So they could tie that in that way, would be interesting. And that way we're not just kind of stuck with, if the Emperor's bad and there's dark side users, there's another mystical type of enemy, which would be interesting. But I'm not sure if they'll end up doing that. But I'm definitely curious about it, because just him mentioning that is like, oh well, what could it be, and what's going on out in this universe,
and that rivals the power of the Night Sisters, right?
Right, because they're fleeing
it. So there's something that is even more evil or more powerful than the Night Sisters magic. Right. So that's kind of interesting to me too.
What's the race that the Grisk, is that what that they have introduced in the books? As maybe they might bring that in, but who knows?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The other thing that I really liked is the stormtroopers. I think they're dead. I think some of them are alive, but I think
they're reanimated.
I think they're reanimated smoke.
What's his face?
Night Sisters, like Marak.
I think that's definitely what's in those.
Yeah, the caskets.
Yeah,
that they keep pulling in from the catacombs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's going to be something with that where they're going to reanimate these, which I think they've done that in Clone Wars and in Rebels and I think they've done that in the Jedi Survivor games, right? Or we've seen some stuff like that, but
something like that.
But that's something that has been introduced outside of the movies. So I think people that aren't ready for that, it's like this is more like sorcery.
This is definitely the most
magic.
It's like mythology.
It's more fantasy, right? So
that's what I'm worried about. Is how far do they push it that way? Because after a while, people are going to say this isn't Star Wars.
Yeah,
because it's so mystical and magic. So I don't know. I buy into it because I played the games and I also like the idea of the Night Sisters. And I mean, we've witnessed the power that they have. It's really cool. And to be honest with you, the same old of having like a master and, apprentice Sith, rule of two. It's like, how can we stray from that, but still have it, and how do we make it interesting? I think this is a cool way to do it. So yeah. I don't know. I like what Dave's doing. Personally, I think it's really cool. I just want to see those Night Sisters and Great Mothers in action. Yeah.
The other character that I thought was awesome was Enoch. That guy just looked sick.
You mean Golden Face?
Yeah. You mean Halo armor set number 65?
I mean,
he looked like a Halo armor set.
So sick.
Or Destiny armor set.
But I really like the I don't know, kind of the play with samurai, like Japanese culture kind of stuff, even with the gold, like what's that
the pottery
called?
I can't remember what it's called.
Sugami or whatever.
Sugami,
something like that.
It's like tenketsu or something.
Yeah, there we go. That tenketsu.
You mean tonkatsu, which is a type of ramen?
Maybe. I think it was origami.
Oh, the instant pottery.
But that's cool. That was really cool, and I really like kind of that aspect of it. Or even just when he comes in on the Chimera and you see the gold in the that was sick.
You can tell that it's been repaired in certain areas. That scene was awesome.
That was cool.
They kind of they keep doing the whole thing with Sabine, like, oh, is she actually going to use the Force this time? But that scene of it coming in was awesome. And then, leading into them, chanting and the music was all really cool.
Do you think we'll get a payoff with her finally doing something?
I think so.
Force-wise? It seems like
I think they've done it too many times.
Even the Night Sister said she reeks of Jedi. Yeah. So there is my subtle thing, but when she says that, I loved Balin's face, like, whoop. Like, he's like, she's a Jedi. And then when Thrawn mentions, he's like, General Balin School. Yeah. He's like, part of the Jedi Order. She kind of gives him a
dirty look.
And then he goes, like, what? I cut ties with them a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was just like that little subtle things was really
That's so cool, though, that Thrawn knew that. Because he was always known for doing background, information and stuff.
Well,
just flaunting his knowledge of everything, basically.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that got me super excited for these next episodes is he asks, when he finds out Ahsoka's coming, he says, I need to know everything about her, who was her master, everything. And I'm like, in the books, Thrawn actually fought with Anakin during the Clone Wars. So he knew Anakin.
Didn't he figure out?
And then when Vader, he was one of the only people that knew that Vader was Anakin. So I'm like, he knows who Anakin is. So when the moment where she says, oh, his master was Anakin Skywalker, he's going to have just a ton of information on her, which I'm like, all this setup, Hayden Christensen's showing up again. He has to.
How so?
Think Force Ghost?
I'm thinking Force Ghost.
Reanimated by the Night Sisters.
But I do think they set up her, like, her dilemma or her relationship with Anakin. He's going to exploit that. And I think in a moment where he's manipulating the situation, you're going to have Anakin show himself
like, hey, knock that off.
Ahsoka.
That ain't me, bro.
Which I think that'll be cool. Because I think there's going to be that connection that I don't think a lot of people understand. If they didn't read the books, they don't think Thrawn knows who Anakin is, but he does.
Yeah.
He's actually had a relationship with him as far as like.
And that is still canon, right?
Yes, these are the new canon books.
New Thrawn books.
Okay. So that's really cool. So that's what gets me excited for these next two episodes. So I want to see how that goes down.
That's good. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool.
I really like the scene with like the little like turtle guys, the little turtle rock guys.
They were cool.
Turtles.
I think they looked really good. And Brie liked them, and she was like, "Oh," and she's like, "Oh,
Another,
the little rebel symbols."
I like their outfits, dude. They were like they almost looked like he had like a little vest on and like a nice tailored little shirt. It's like, dang, bro, how do you get that on over your shell?
So I actually did like that little interaction, and I loved the slow walk. Like they like slow walked the reveal at the end, and I really liked that because I don't know, he looked very Ezra looked very different because he's got a full beard, and he's I don't know, was that the same actor as the hologram?
Yeah.
So it's like crazy how different he looked, but it was cool because he had like this almost like chainmail underneath his like
and cowboy boots, chainmail and cowboy boots. I'm like, I'm liking this.
He's just like
this other galaxy's crazy, bro.
Is this supposed to be like 9 years after?
I think they said like 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, it's like a decade.
But how'd you guys feel about that scene?
I liked it.
I really like the music, by the way. I will say when they're adventuring, the music's so good. Go back, listen to it. Really good. Really good.
Yeah.
I want to find that song and add it to my D&D playlist. It was so good. For adventuring.
There's something about... There's a certain way that Star Wars does things when you see, like in the original trilogy, what they do stuff with the Ewoks, the music. Like there's a little... like introduction to characters. They do it with Jawas too. There's kind of this little like
it's like a little sneaky kind of like
and
nimble sneaky kind of feel to the music.
When they met I can't remember, the Nori or something like that. The little flute music, it was like, this is so Star Wars. And just kind of like
that felt the most Star Wars.
So just kind of the whole interaction with them leading up to Ezra showing up was like, man, this feels like old school Star Wars. Also the fact that
it's like relax.
Also the fact that they spoke in the alien language.
Yeah,
they didn't speak in
cool.
English and they didn't have subtitles. It was just kind of like, no, Ezra Bridger. It just reminded me of
weird
Star Wars. But I think one of the coolest things about the reveal between Ezra and Sabine was it felt like these were the characters from Rebels because their interaction, their banter back and forth. It's like that's how they always talk to each other.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, it's like, of course, Dave Filoni would know how these characters would talk to each other.
It was very Sabine, keeping important information from Ezra initially.
Hey, we got to have that little conflict. But, I mean, I think Sabine. That's just their interaction. I was like, this feels like Rebels. And the line at the end where he's like, Sabine, I'm glad you came, right? And then he's like, I can't wait to get home. It's like, ooh, yikes. Wait till you find out.
You might have to wait.
So I just thought it was a cool way, and I can't wait. That's the other thing I'm excited for. I want to see Ezra in action.
Yeah, me too.
I want to see what he does because he doesn't have his lightsaber, so he's been having to do the Force.
Did she give it back to him?
I mean, I think eventually, but
yeah, I think it's interesting that the Night Sisters in this planet are aware of Jedi. You know what I mean? Part of me hopes that maybe Ezra found a lightsaber here, like an old, like an old school, old lightsaber from like whoever whoever Jedi were there like millions of years ago or whatever.
Yellow one or something.
I don't know if there were Jedi in that area. My question is, I think they know about Jedi because they went to the other galaxy and they're because this was their first kingdom, right? And then it says they traveled to Dathomir. So I'm wondering if these, like, that's where they encountered the Jedi and other things.
So you're saying these three ones that are here were in Dathomir and left?
I'm saying like throughout, like, I don't know if they were there or not, but there seems to be this idea that this was where the kingdom was, and then they transferred over to Dathomir. So I'm just wondering if they... I don't know. It just seems like a weird, because she says the travelers, they're the ones that tamed the beasts.
Yeah.
And they were able to traverse this time. So it seems like there's been for some reason they stopped doing that, but there was a reason. It seems like they would travel from one to the other.
I'd believe either or.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because with the, obviously they've taught the younglings in the Jedi Temple about Peridia. Like there's all these legends about it. So my thinking was, there were Jedi that traveled there thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And they were obviously at odds with, so they're aware of the Jedi. The other thing that was cool was the graveyard, the bone ring around the planet was
got
so
really
cool.
sad. She's like, oh.
And when they're like the whale, they come here to die. I'm like,
I said,
they're like, and I was like,
whales,
dang, that's crazy.
Well, it's cool because it's depicted in all the the golden etching drawings. It has the circle of the Purgle, but we
didn't know they were going to be
before
dead.
That, you didn't know they were dead. But,
Yeah.
dead corpses, dude. It's messed up.
Yeah,
but I guess that's based off of real life, like elephants. Like they do that. They go back to
Saturn's
spot.
Not real life whales.
Maybe.
Yeah, when they travel through hyperspace.
By the way, that looked awesome. I loved it. It was
cool.
unique.
It was different,
to what we've seen before. It felt
they're going way faster.
Way faster. It felt more organic and just
which I was
natural.
fine with.
Yeah, I think it was really cool.
It was a subtle change to be like, it's got to look
different than what we've seen
different
before.
because they're traveling at a different speed and going to a different place.
How do you make it look faster? Well, it's like actual streams, like solid streams of color.
Yeah. Here, I got a question for you guys. Because they've said that this takes place around the same time as Mandalorian season 3. Was Grogu looking at Grogu looking at Ahsoka when he sees the Purgle? And did he sense her? And that's why he was like looking when they were in hyperspace. From season 3 of Mando, they're going through hyperspace, and he sees next to them the Purgle traveling. Was that Ahsoka actually traveling to Peridia? Because they're saying they take this both seasons. This one and Ahsoka takes place at the same time.
It's cool.
I can't talk.
Take a drink. Take a drink.
I'm getting too excited.
With Grogi over here.
Grogi for sure saw her or sensed her.
You get excited over here.
100%.
I guess that would be like a cool Easter egg, but it feels very like,
but what
are the odds?
You'd have to figure out like planet locations and stuff like that. But
I mean,
bro,
I think that's a cool thing.
And if they're going,
you think it's cool?
And if they're going faster, like if you look at the scene from Mando, they were just like barely going faster.
Maybe they just started their travel.
They were
just to ramp up to it.
Yeah. I don't think it has.
Probably not.
I don't think
but
it has.
I'm gonna say yes.
My man.
Prediction?
Point for both of us.
No. Oh, yeah.
Negatives for you two.
Yeah.
I lost, by the way. There's no.
We knew.
Hey, 2 episodes left. That's right.
Yeah,
You never know.
True, bro.
You never
Young
know.
Han can still show up.
They're going back.
The Bendu showing up.
Yeah.
The other stuff that it was cool to get the conversation between Hugh Yang and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
That was cool. And
that
get
was
the
cool.
long time ago
I
in a
love
galaxy
that.
far, far away. Just like a cool, not even like an Easter egg.
Yeah,
you
but
know
I
what
didn't
mean?
want him to leave.
I know.
I was like, I
hey,
want to
just
hear
tell
the
story.
story.
Yeah.
I want to hear the stories. Don't stop there.
Yeah, I think that scene kind of showed me that like I'm actually more invested in Hugh Yang and like Balin than like the main characters that I should be invested in with this story. Like, I mean, I am invested with Ezra, but those are my 3 favorite subjects of interest in this show right now, which I find interesting because they're not even like the primary. Like, I should be more interested in Ahsoka's journey. It's really interesting because they have so many intriguing like characters.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a good thing. But yeah, I just want to see some Ezra action.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
I want him to like get all those animals to like go and attack for him because you know how connected he is to nature and animals.
He's going to stick them all together. It's just a massive ride.
It's gonna be a giant mech, and he's gonna ride it.
Yeah, he's gonna get inside of it.
Yeah. Mega rocks too. They're the little rock guys at the feet.
I thought when I first saw there's a shot where you see the howlers. I thought they were Loth wolves.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I was like, this is crazy because in Rebels, I was like, is he going to be able to leave through the Loth wolves? Because in Rebels, he gets on one and they basically go through the Earth.
Yeah, through the planet.
They go through the planet, like kind of hyperspace, similar thing where they like travel through the planet to the other side. And he's like, what? How do we get here? So I'm like, I don't know. That would just be a crazy thing. But it looked like they're they weren't the Lothwolves.
No.
After all, they were just the Howlers. But I'm like, it was
really cool design though. For the
it was cool.
Yeah, very,
The one
very
scene,
ugly.
that's the one scene I didn't like,
Which one?
where
The one
where she's like fighting with us, like, you abandoned me.
Oh, I didn't like that scene either.
I just felt, I was like, it's a little out of place. I get it. It looked cool. The way it was shot was fine, but it was just like, we didn't need it.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't seem like
It might have been a scene for maybe the younger crowd.
no.
You know,
That,
maybe.
that would have felt much more, I think, normal if it was in Rebels.
Yeah,
that seemed
in
a little
animation.
too
Sure,
kind of
sure.
cartoony. But
Sure.
yeah, I agree.
But I liked when what's the animal called again? Howler was with her with the turtle guys. I like that.
Oh,
where
yeah.
he just wanted to like, gobble one of them up. And she,
Dota.
yeah, yeah. I actually like that. That felt very Star Wars to me,
Yeah. It did.
personally. So I don't know. The episode was great. I think it felt good. Like it felt like, I don't know. It just feels like we're going in the right direction in general. And it's so funny because like online, I see so many mixed opinions of Ahsoka, and it's so weird because it's like, for me, I try to be as unbiased as possible. Maybe it's because I watch Rebels and Clone Wars and stuff like that maybe I buy in more than the average viewer, but I don't know. I feel like it should be getting a lot more credit.
I think people are just,
or maybe people just like to hate.
people just hate Disney Star Wars, and they've kind of planted their flag in that, like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do.
They love Andor.
Yeah,
They say Andor is the best thing ever.
but I've seen a lot of people that even Andor, they're like, oh, it's Disney Star Wars sucks. And so I just think that is happening a lot. And the other thing, I don't know. For me, you get more likes when you hate stuff, and you kind of feed your followers, whatever you're doing.
People don't just comment to be like, I love this.
Yeah.
They say no. They take the time out of their day to say, I don't like it.
Yeah, especially if someone's like, I find myself doing this where someone will say something like, that was stupid, this is dumb. And I'm like, I'll put a comment like, well, the reason that happened was this. And I'm like, now they're getting that interaction, right?
Yeah.
If someone says, man, I really love that,
And
I
you're
don't
like,
take the time
yeah,
to be like, yeah,
me
I love
too.
that too.
Yeah, no.
So if you go the opposite route, you
Yep.
get the people, you get the haters to be like, yeah, that was so stupid. Because it's a lot easier to be like, yeah, how dumb is that, right? And then you also get the people that are like, no, you're an idiot. That actually was cool, kind of thing.
It was
just a silly way to
just
do.
kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish people could just, celebrate together. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But the reviews, the reviews are great. The ratings are really good as far as like online reviews. So, I don't know. It speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
The one sadness that I have, and I've said this before,
That it'll be over in 2 episodes.
well, but I'm like, I don't hate the sequels. There's those that hate the sequels. There's those that love the sequels. I'm the Bendu of the sequels. I'm in the middle. I love some things about it.
Yeah.
I dislike some things about it.
Yeah.
But the more I see what Dave Filoni does, I'm like, man, what a missed opportunity.
yeah.
Right. They just didn't know at that point.
But at the same time, it's like, man, he gets
Just the
it.
quality of writing and storytelling.
And
is
even
so
the
much
aspect
better.
of how much more epic the stormtroopers are in this than what we got in the First Order. Does that make sense? Like,
First Order was
there
like
was a lot of
copy-paste.
rehash kind of stuff. This kind of has like a cool element to it. And it's just kind of unfortunate that you're like, man, yeah, they're doing all this stuff, but then it's going to lead up to the sequels, and we know what happens in the sequels. So that's just for me that a little bit of like,
True.
Again, I think I really like Rey. I'm okay with Rey being a Skywalker. I love Kylo Ren and Ben Solo, that kind of stuff. I think there's some good things in that, but there's just that little tinge of like, man, what could we have gotten if they would have gotten Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau to be like, hey, you guys handle the sequel trilogy. But again, like you said, they didn't know at that point. Yeah. It was just kind of like, hey, this is our thing. The Force Awakens, I think, is a great movie. I really like The Force Awakens. Unfortunately, they should have had one person do.
Yeah.
If you hate Kathleen Kennedy and you hate The Last Jedi, well, one good thing that came out of those things is that Dave Filoni got to...
Yeah, he worked with Ryan
He worked on The Last Jedi. Kathleen Kennedy was like, hey, you want to do live action stuff? be on the set and work with Rian Johnson. And then after all that stuff, then he started doing the live action.
He didn't
stuff.
write. He didn't write The Last Jedi.
That's right. He was just hanging out.
That's pretty obvious.
He was learning about
how to direct.
do live action.
What not to do.
Yeah.
He's like,
Don't put that on him.
Don't throw the lightsaber over your back.
Dude. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many years was it that we waited? Was it like 2 years, 3 years?
Do you guys remember where I was? I told you guys there's a tombstone there.
Yeah. Dude, we had so many theories, and all of them were better than what we got. That was so bad, bro. I was embarrassed.
What's crazy to me is if you watch the behind the scenes about that, Rian Johnson is like, throw it over your shoulder, like you're like you don't want to have anything to do with it. Like it's supposed to be serious, like, but it comes off as a joke, and you're like,
joke.
Unfortunate.
It was bad.
I still like that movie.
I think it was a bad.
Yeah, you put it number 4 best Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
like that.
Number 4.
Incredible.
Yeah,
we lost all credibility on the podcast.
Yeah, well.
Anything
Have
else
you ever
on
seen
Ahsoka?
Attack of the Clones? Okay, just gotta say.
Anything else on Ahsoka
Number
before
1.
we move on to something else?
No,
I don't think so.
I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, our predictions, I haven't really looked at them, but I know I'm not winning. I will say this, though. We can discuss this, but I'm pretty sure we've seen Coruscant, because that's where the fleet was stationed, because she says you need to come back to Coruscant. So, technically, we did see Coruscant. That was kind of confirmed, I
don't think so.
Yeah.
How?
Because that's where the fleet was. It was stationed out of Coruscant.
Before we decide anything, we need to all go back and look at it and just.
I know who.
We all need to go back and look at it.
Look at the planet?
Look at it and just
Okay, well,
we'll decide then.
It's a little cloudy, but you see this massive city there.
Well,
I don't think Coruscant ever had clouds, did it?
It's more. It didn't have weather.
It's a city. There's no
And
weather.
we specifically said you have to see it.
We did see it. We saw it in 2 shots.
We don't know that.
Jonah's saying that like through
We don't know that.
context clues,
Through context clues.
of the actual like script.
And they actually
could-
mentioned in the episode before this, they said you're supposed when they go to get the X-wing dude and Hera,
Technical
like
name,
you're
X-wing
supposed
dude.
to return to Coruscant with the fleet. And I was
But-
like, that's where the whole fleet
But
is.
how
So
are we
that's where they were coming
supposed?
from.
How are we supposed to know that they didn't move to somewhere else?
Because we know they weren't. They were stationed there. That's
They
where
were
they're
stationed there.
Yes.
They said they hadn't moved anywhere.
And if we go
Context.
if we go to Mando, they're all on Coruscant.
not the same show. We're not doing predictions
It's at
off
the same
that.
time. And if we go to Mando, all this stuff takes place on Coruscant.
Oh yeah,
And that whole
that's
thing,
True.
they're not on Hazian Prime. They haven't even mentioned Hazian Prime, so we know they haven't moved the government there yet. So everything's on Coruscant. And we know the fleet is outside of Coruscant.
I think it's murky.
I don't think
I don't think it
I
counts.
think we all need to go back and look at it.
I don't think it is. I'm just saying. Just
Okay.
saying.
I'm pretty sure I
all
said-
I'm saying is I
it
hope we get a scene at the end of the episode where they say, "Hey, we're here at Coruscant," because that's the only way you're going to get that.
How about we do this? If the score at the end of it all, if this actually would affect a placement, then we'll go back and we'll look at the actual episode where that happened and go through it ourselves together.
Who said no?
To what?
You two said no.
Oh yeah,
Corey
definitely
and I,
wasn't Coruscant.
Corey and I said
There's,
yes.
There's no way. It's impossible.
I mean,
That's a 2-point. It's a 2-point swing.
so anyway, I'm just saying if it has an effect on the score at the end, we'll look at it. How about that? That sounds good. That sounds reasonable.
So as of now, no one gets that point.
As of right now, it's a null and void. You might as well ignore it. But we could
I already gave myself a point.
because it's one of the 3 that you got.
Hey, right now I'm doing good because I haven't gone through any of the ones that haven't.
You'll get all the negatives.
It's like
at
all the ones that
end.
have.
Yeah.
You and me are in first place right now,
No way.
just by 1 point.
Hey,
because of the Coruscant
You
one.
never know.
That's why he's so adamant.
Basically,
It's pretty clear that it's Coruscant.
I would
I'm just
say we're definitely in a gray area here, and
What
we'll figure
episode
it
was
out.
that? Episode 2?
No, it's episode 4.
4?
Well, you see it in episode 3, and then you see it again in episode 4, and then they mention in episode 5
Frick.
to go to back. They mention Coruscant specifically in episode 5.
Well,
So that's why.
So let me ask you a question. When you said, do we get to see Coruscant? Were you talking about we're going to be seeing buildings?
We never
we're going to be.
that.
I'm just saying it's an interesting.
We said,
Gray area.
will we see Coruscant in the series? We're actually seeing Coruscant. It's the planet. It's the same thing. If it was like, will we see Naboo? And it's like, oh, there's one scene that like through the World Between Worlds that is like, oh, Padme's funeral. That's on Naboo. So it's not specifically to say Naboo, but you can make the connections that it is.
Well, I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah, like I said, like Corey said,
Yeah,
we'll see.
like you said, like I said.
Yeah,
that's right. Sounds good.
we're all saying the same thing except John.
I think if it lines up and the context clues are very, very obvious, you might walk away with a point here.
I think it's very obvious. That was
all you have to do is convince Mick to agree with you because he's not going to. This guy's not going to. We all
I think
that.
that you guys should just do the honorable thing and be like, yeah, that was Coruscant.
Well, I'll go back and look at it.
It's clear.
So it's close though. The whole score. It's me and you in the lead, but how far back?
No, it's just that's the only one where we differ on. Everything else
is really.
But again,
that's not counting all the negatives.
It's been only like 4 things that have been
like revealed.
Which like Jason, Syndulla, Rex. We all said yes on Rex. We all said yes on Jason.
Man, guys, we did a pretty good job.
We were split.
They were pretty good.
I think those are the only 4 we've done.
Oh, okay. Nice. Hey.
That I've done.
Did you say Maul was showing up?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he still might be. He might be in one of those catacombs.
You never know.
Things. Risen from the dead.
Because I thought I was going to lose that point when she was back at the Mandalore.
Yeah,
I was like, dang it.
Does the helmet count as
No, it doesn't.
See, that's what I'm just saying.
No.
Just like the planet doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm done because I said Bendu, Leia. Oh, actually,
I said Leia.
Corey's the only one that said no on Leia. And they mentioned her name, but she didn't come.
Gotta see her.
You guys all said no on Luke. I said yes. Han Solo, I said yes. Stupid. Obi-Wan.
That's the one.
That's the one that I was like, I was sure.
Huh.
Mick and I said yes. Corey and Josh said no. Hondo, we all said yes.
Hondo.
Gosh.
I think I was being friendly there. I think I was.
Mando, Corey, and I said yes. You could show up at the end as a little
you
teaser
saw him
stinger.
when they were going through the hyperspace.
Yeah, you saw the little
context
outline.
clues for Mando season 3.
Just like you saw Coruscant.
From Groggy.
So we got everyone got a point for Rex. Let's see what's the other one.
Nice.
Jason, Syndulla, everyone got a point, and the rest are just
2 episodes to get some more points.
Crazy
we'll see.
stuff.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that does it for Ahsoka, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that'll conclude Ahsoka.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with the episode 7.
It's going to be a good
Big
one.
setup for the finale. So, let us know what you thought of the episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in the middle?
Come
on. Are you a Bendu?
Are you the Bendu?
Let us know. And we'll be back next week with more. We're going to go on to, let's just talk the Aquaman trailer that dropped. There's been rumors that WB is like, this movie is going to suck.
Marketing.
We're going to take it on the chin. They're not marketing it. They just dropped a trailer out of nowhere. They lost the trailer, apparently.
That's the rumor.
And then the trailer came out, and it was...
Is that like an extra level of viral marketing because it's the Lost Kingdom?
Yeah, I guess.
They lost the trailer.
It looked okay.
I was going to say the visuals from the first movie were really cool, and it looks like it's carrying over to this one, but visuals can only take a movie so far. And the fact that, like you saying, it sounds like they're just kind of not really caring about it, and everything that's so uncertain about DC moving forward, it's like it's really hard to care about the DC movies that are coming out.
Yeah, and Momoa was kind of like already gearing towards doing Lobo, it looks like, and that this is kind of I think part of it is just because the characters kind of changed as far as like what it was originally going to be when Zack Snyder kind of introduced the character. It's become I mean, especially what James Gunn did with Peacemaker, where it's like all the jokes they did about Aquaman, it kind of Zack Snyder made
Maybe
him
belittle him.
Yeah, I mean the character, he was always a joke the way he looked, and people always made fun of him. You look at SpongeBob with Mermaid Man and that kind of stuff. No, but there was that.
I know what you're saying.
There was that element of like Aquaman was always a joke. Zack Snyder comes in, makes him like cool, and then they immediately go back to like, let's make him a butt of all the jokes again, like, oh, you F fish, all that kind of stuff. It was just like dumb. And then the Flash post credit scene, which is like, okay, you ruined this character, and it just feels like the character's now dead because there's no future with him.
That's not true. He's a father now. I don't know if you missed that part.
Little baby fish, little guppy.
But I just think they've totally destroyed that character.
Such a shame.
So it's weird.
Know. I mean, for us, yes, and for most any actual fans of comic books, probably yes. But it's like, I mean, we'll see how they depict him. I think there's going to be levels of seriousness in this movie, obviously. So I don't know. My mom will probably like it.
I like Black Manta from the first one, so I think setting him up to be a bigger villain looks cool. Like his trident looks cool. I liked Patrick Wilson as Orm was good. Yeah. So I'm interested in that side of things.
Yeah.
But the overall like kind of goofiness of like, no, I got a job and I'm the king of Atlantis and I'm gonna do my laundry and
I don't
change my baby's diaper. It's kind of like okay, whatever.
It's weird.
It's kind of just gutted the character of depth and kind of the story of like depth and like weight, and they just make it too much levity.
Yeah, and I don't get the aspect like, oh, you're the king of Atlantis, but you live in your dad's house kind of thing. It's a weird thing. Again, if you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League,
dude. Rent's expensive nowadays.
Expensive for CGI underwater.
If you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League and you see the moment where Darkseid kills Aquaman, and they're underwater, and he's in the throne room. That just epic looking Aquaman to then be replaced with like, oh, let me hang out my suit on the clothesline. I don't know. It's just a weird kind of like juxtaposition opposites. So I don't know. I enjoyed the first one. It made over $1 billion.
It was good.
But I just think, there's rumors of when they showed it to people left the screenings. They said it was boring. I don't know I don't know. To me, it seems like WB is just kind of like, let's just dump it. And
it's so weird too, because it's like, I think Jason Momoa sells.
Yeah, he does.
Like he sells and people really like him. So it's like, why are they kind of just throwing, I don't know, they're kind of just like cutting their losses.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of a cowardice kind of move, in my opinion.
And it's weird too when James Wan is like, I can't wait to be done with this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I need a vacation and I don't want to go anywhere where there's water. Like that to me is kind of, and he's like, in all the reshoots, I finally told them I'm not going to reshoot anything. Like we've already changed the ending a couple times. Like
I mean, that sucks.
So to me, it's like, okay, what is this movie going to be? Is it just going to be, again, like The Flash, how the ending was just completely different than what they originally were going to do? And it's like, whoa, where does that ending come from? It's just weird.
It's probably going to be like The Flash, not like The Flash, but like, I think it's going to be like, there's going to be a couple key moments that are actually pretty good. And that'll be it. Like, I really enjoyed that scene with The Flash and his mom, you know, at the end. I thought that was a really well done scene. I think there's going to be that. I think it's going to be like, oh, there's a couple cool things.
Yeah.
But overall, it's 4 out of 10, kind of a movie. But yeah, we'll find out. When does that come out?
December or November?
December, I think.
December.
Oh, gosh, December.
What else is coming out?
Good luck.
Dune was coming out in November.
Oh, wait,
that got
nothing's coming out.
I thought there was. Huh? Oh,
Things.
never
It
mind.
honestly might do really well because it might be the only thing.
There's nothing else.
It
Yeah.
might be the only thing in theaters. And
No.
blockbuster movies normally make pretty good money.
Usually there's a lot of competition in December.
Yeah, but because of the writer's strike.
Oh, that's right.
Moved
They
everything.
moved everything.
Oh, my God.
Which apparently they met face to face, so they're saying Thursday they're supposed to end the strike, hopefully.
Gosh.
Sorry.
Finally.
What?
the writers met with the studios.
You don't have to cry
And
about
that
it.
they
Choking up. He's
and
choking
that
up.
they
been a
are
long
close
winter.
to a deal to end the strike.
Oh, okay.
Now I can finally start talking about the movies I'm going to be in, you know?
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
can start plugging.
That's a good one. Nice job.
Yeah. That's cool.
Was there anything else? We mentioned the Switch kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The Microsoft leak.
Yeah, there's some Microsoft is in some kind of court case. I can't remember what it was, but basically they've have some documents that have been redacted about Nintendo and Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever it's called, talking about that it exists. So it does exist. Game companies do have their developer kits for all of that, which I knew already, but this confirms it.
I'm pretty sure it's called the Switcheroo.
The Switcheroo. You know, a lot of people are saying it's the Switch 2, but TOO. Like you two,
Also.
us two. Yeah. Also.
Switch also.
You know, like the we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We.
Like
Us.
Wii U.
We play together. WII. Yeah, and then also they talked about Elder Scrolls 6 not coming out until 2026 or later. So that's interesting. It makes sense because the movie's going to be massive. But yeah, that's all I saw from that hearing in those leaked documents. But yeah, what else was there?
They announced a new Lord of the Rings game.
Wait, what was it called?
Tales of the Shire. So they have like a little teaser video. It's basically like a hobbit, like writing in a book or whatever. And it said something like, "Oh, your cozy hobbit dreams, or your cozy hobbit life."
I think I saw that.
Not too far away, or something like that. But what a workshop! I think they stood up a games division not too long ago, and this is one of their first games that they've been working on. So
People are saying it's like Animal Crossing or
there's
Stardew Valley
there's
kind of
nothing
idea.
out there about it, but
Just speculation.
that's just
kinda.
speculation. That's what I would. That's where my mind went. It's like, oh, we're talking about living a hobbit life. It's like it sounds
You
like
playing
kind
old
of
Toby
yeah,
and
Or it's going to be
Exactly.
like Call of Duty.
yeah, first person
Call
shooter
of
for sure.
Duty.
But yeah,
give
that,
me my old Toby fields, my carrots and my Farmer Maggot's patch of
and
carrots.
some potatoes.
And then I'm just going to sell that and then,
Smoke some pipe weed.
build a
They've got
bigger
potato
hobbit
guns.
hole.
That's what they
Build
have.
a bigger hobbit hole. Yeah, I'm stoked. If it's anything like Stardew Valley, count me in. I'm excited. This is the most anticipated game ever.
Ever.
I think that. Oh, the other thing, there was. I don't know if you guys saw, but David S. Goyer confirmed that he wrote the script for
a Star Wars
Guillermo del Toro movie,
Star Wars. Yeah.
Star Wars.
Not interested.
And they said it was going to be a Jabba the Hutt movie.
What?
Well,
A gangster kind of.
yeah,
And Guillermo del Toro was going to be playing Jabba the Hutt.
that's right.
Oh,
That'd be great.
What?
brutal.
That's rude.
Oh.
Were you hurt by that?
It's a little
Yeah,
rude,
it was
man.
rude. You wouldn't have wanted to see a Jabba the Hutt movie?
No. Not with Guillermo del Toro. It's not going to feel like Star Wars at all.
What if it's stop animation? That'd be cool.
Then maybe that I would. But no.
I want to see a Jabba the Hutt movie.
The other one that reportedly is dead is the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie.
Oh, thank you.
Praise
Yay.
Praise
Dave
the
Filoni.
maker.
Really? I saw that it was still
Praise
alive.
the maker. Praise the
the
maker.
maker.
No. He said he made it in an interview. He said, "Oh yeah, well, something about it being not happening anymore."
Oh, I will say the other leak that came from the Microsoft whatever lawsuit thing is they had documents that said the next gen of Xbox would be fully digital,
Stupid. That's
which
dumb.
is very dumb. I think I saw, right? You saw that?
And they're like refreshing the Xbox. They're making a new console. It's still Xbox though, but it's circular.
Yes.
And it's having an updated controller.
Isn't it like a cylinder?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it.
What is it called? It's like called Project Brooklyn, I think is what
they
they're
had
calling
weird. Yeah.
it. But it's going to be like a midlife cycle refresh of it. So it's still
like a Pringles
technically
can.
So is it an HD version or like, you know what I mean? Like a higher graphic power, or is it the same, just maybe affordable or a different
I
SKU.
think that the price was the same, and
really?
I think I can't remember what the different stats were on it, but I know that one of the specific things that stood out was like, oh, there's going to be a gyroscopic controller or like some type of different controller.
All I know, is it looks like my air filter.
Yeah,
in my
it does look like an air filter.
Like it looks like
So they went from fridge to air filter.
a cylinder. Yeah. Whatever.
Interesting. That's
Jinx.
weird. That's weird that they'd go an all digital.
Is it though? Doesn't it make sense? Because they make more money. They don't have to produce the hardware,
just something
the package.
about I'm a physical man,
but it makes sense,
I get
right?
my hands dirty.
But it makes sense, right?
Does Microsoft own Valve?
No.
They don't?
No.
Okay.
Valve is its own beast.
Okay. But they're more like partner friendly, aren't they, with Microsoft than like Sony and Nintendo?
I don't think so. Valve lives their own life. They're just they're like they don't care about anyone else in the world. They're on their own little island up in Seattle.
Yeah.
And they don't say anything, and then they'll just release Counter-Strike 2. Like they're Counter-Strike 2 is supposed to come out, and they keep doing these tweets like, "What are you guys doing on Wednesday?" And they're all like, "Yo, CS2, it's coming out," and then nothing comes out. Like they're just screwing with everyone.
Trolling.
Yeah, they are.
Dang.
It's so funny. Yo, Valve is like, oh, they're brutal, man. Yeah, they just do their own thing. Everyone's like, "We want Half-Life 3 or 4 or whatever," and they're like, "Yeah, no."
I mean, I guess me personally, like I bought the PS5 with the disc version, but honestly, most of the games I buy are digital
Because it's
Well, that's 'cause you're a
convenient.
fool.
Because it's convenient,
It's convenient. Like it's just easier to do it that way. I might be a fool. I might be. But I wonder
you're
if
a
that's
digital fool.
the. I wonder if that's the norm now, just
Probably.
percentage wise. If most people do,
Yeah, I think so.
buy digital.
Well, I think, for PC at least, games just got too big. Like you would have to have multiple CDs to like install World of Warcraft. I remember having 6 CDs just to install World of Warcraft. And you know what scales infinitely? Digital downloads.
Yeah.
Oh, another piece of news. Unity is a coding platform that a lot of indie companies use to code for their games, to build their games. They came out and was like, we're going to do a 20-cent fee for each download for a game that's made by Unity. Flat rate. That's just what they're going to do. Everyone freaked out. Everyone lost it. And it took maybe 2 days. And then they came out on Twitter and was like, yeah, hey, thank you guys for all your feedback. Yeah, we love listening to you guys. And,
actually,
just basically like, we're going to rethink it.
It's going to be 3 cents.
Yeah, basically they were groveling back because it's like if it's not you guys, it's going to be another platform. Like you guys are great and accessible, but if you're charging them 20 cents per download, poor little indie companies, they're not going to stay there. They're going to go with some other platform. So that was weird too. People are just greedy, man, and that's why I think digital consoles, They will be the future, I think, because people just want to make money, and that's just maximum money. Luckily, the other thing with Nintendo 2 leak, people are saying it's going to be backwards and compatible, but they're going to have a new cartridge type for the Switch 2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, they're like paintballs. They're round and you put them in.
Yeah, it's like Jawbreakers actually. It's like really big, and they go whoop. Yeah.
I guess we didn't talk about the Nintendo Direct, did we?
Well,
there wasn't really all that Mario RPG.
Oh yeah,
Paper Mario RPG, Paper Mario remake, the Peach game, Luigi's Mansion 2 remake.
Yeah.
So nothing brand new.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Sony. It was kind of like the state of play was kind of nothing really groundbreaking announced. At least
like
that I
state
saw.
Of meh.
Yeah, it was just kind of like,
nice, dude.
Nothing too crazy.
State of mid. That's more.
Yeah, that sounded better.
But that's more like
No,
no. I'm saying that's more like.
Why am I not surprised?
No.
Okay. Hold on.
It resonates with the young kids.
All right. What was yours?
What? Mid? That was mid?
State of what?
Oh, state of mid.
Okay, no.
State of meh.
Okay, yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
State of mid or state of meh?
Which do you prefer?
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to see what Nintendo does because they're always, innovative.
Game changers.
But I will say that they just need to bring a little bit more power. There's a lot of games out there that run on the Switch that just really struggles to run. And so, like, even the latest, or not the latest, but the Pokemon Arceus game, chugging, like, we're having a really hard time because they want to do cool stuff like open world stuff, but the console just can't handle loading that much stuff. So they just need a power boost. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think next holiday we'll have a new Switch.
I think so too.
Switch 2.
You heard it here first. Oh.
All right. Anything else, or you guys want to wrap up?
I think that's it. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with more Ahsoka and anything else that drops. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. And thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.
Bye.